You and Wentworth had been cast already. What was your reaction hearing, the character and the character combo, the actor combo that would be potential?
I got a call from my agent saying the Flash wanted to offer me a role in the show, and I knew Wentworth was doing it, and he actually sent me an email saying, "Come on board and have fun." And I said, "Absolutely." I mean, Wentworth's a very close friend of mine, a very dear friend. It's always a pleasure. We had such a great time on Prison Break, and I haven't worked with him since then. And, working with him again, it's just it's great. We have a unique chemistry, I think, and so this gives us a chance to come onto a different into a different world, and it affords actors to really play. I think that's what I'm really enjoying about this role.
We'll talk a bit about that chemistry and sort of how it developed on Prison Break and how it sort of progressed and how we see it here and now.
It's hard to articulate. I don't think there is an answer to chemistry. I think it's just one of those things. I think you can try to with Wentworth and I, there was no ego. There just never was any. There was never any sense of competition. There was no ego. It was just we just kind of worked just very easily together. And I don't know what the chemistry is, but people respond to it. We work well together. We kind of, I don't know.
Can you talk a little bit about the two characters you're playing?
The two characters
that you and Wentworth are playing?
Wentworth's playing Leonard Snart, Captain Cold or something, and I'm playing Heatwave. I'm not too. I'm pretty naive with this whole comic book world. So, from what I understand, from what I've briefly been told, these two characters are pretty iconic and important in the Flash, in the DC comic book world. It's kind of a responsibility because that you have fans out there that have their perceptions of how these characters are and what they are, and you just hope that in some way you service the expectation.
But you didn't hit like a comic book shop and do any research. You just
no. It was basically finding the character on the floor, really. Heatwave, it just invokes a hothead, so there's this kind of, I'm bringing a bit of an animalistic kind of to him, and, Wentworth's playing it ice cold. Sorry?
What can you tease about the man viewers will meet when they first see you in this episode?
What can I tell you about the man?
Yeah, when he first starts off in this episode versus like who he becomes as the episode progresses. What can you tell us about him?
We don't really get to see him as a man yet. It's more of a bang. He's just arrived, and we see him in this garb. There's not much of a history as yet. He's just straight into the dynamic and the action of what this particular script's about. Obviously, Wentworth and I are coming back into the show at some point, and I'm sure down the line we'll get to explore who Heatwave is as a person when he's not Heatwave.
Can you talk a little bit about the scene you're filming tonight that we're going to watch, and how much preparation went into it, how much sort of training, is there stunt people?
It's very ambitious, a show like this. We're talking about, if there's such a thing, a tentpole, experience. You're doing a comic book movie each week. The big movies, they get 6 months to do all this kind of stuff. So it's a different animal altogether. Wentworth, Cold and Heatwave are trying to. We're actually working together to bring down the Flash, and we've got our he's kind of, I'm firing a heat wave, and Wentworth's firing a cold gun. And it's all about crossing streams, and it's like Ghostbusters. But it's cool. It's a lot of fun.